Hey, what's going on today, guys? Hey, I know usually Saturday's a news video, and I feel like I've been saying that a lot lately, is usually Saturday's a news video, and then I do something completely different. But, I was looking at the news this week, and basically all you're gonna get from me is something, scalper, something, the scalpers got their comeuppance, something, you still can't buy a PS5, so who cares? That being said, a big thing that happened in the community, a lot of people who have their Xbox Series X's have been getting onto the dev mode and uploading RetroArch to play a bunch of their cool old school games. I decided to give my own hand at it, so it is very easy. I'm going to do a little bit of explanation here on how to do it. Really, not too much though. There are videos way in detail and a lot of really good places online where you can learn how to do this yourself. But it's not hard. I really just wanted to show what some of this gameplay looks like. I'm going to be doing the PS1 today, and specifically probably my favorite PS1 game, or at least definitely my favorite PS1 game series, and that's Mega Man Legends. So without further ado, let's jump into playing Mega Man Legends on the Xbox Series X. Hey, before we start, I kind of wanted to get ahead on this one. A lot of people say emulation's bad, ROMs are bad. I just wanted to prove to everybody that I'm not taking money out of Capcom's mouth, even though they're not re-releasing these games. But I own every different versions of the Legend franchise you could own, including the fan-made physical copy of Mega Man Legends 3, the 8-bit version. So, I ripped the ISOs myself. My hands are clean. But hey, let's go ahead and jump into playing these things on the Xbox. Before I get too far, I do want to prove that I am in fact playing this with my Xbox controller, on my Xbox Series X, on my TV. It's so easy to record on an Xbox. All you gotta do is plug in a hard drive and you're good to go. But I just wanted to show this off because the rest of it is all going to be screen capture. So I'd never actually used RetroArch until now, so this setup probably looks familiar for a lot of people who are used to it. But for me, when I turned it on, I was like, hey, my Xbox is now a PSP, what do you know? But it's real easy. Go over to PS1 and click Legends. From there, the game starts up basically exactly like a PS1 game. I mean, it just rolls in, has all the same loading screens, the same intro splash screens. It even has a digital memory card, so you actually go through and save and load like you would normally do, which is pretty nice. Especially because, when you're playing old school, you at least kind of want it to feel old school. So the PS1, it actually keeps the original resolution. That's why I'm using this border, because it's not stretched out to widescreen. I'm sure there's settings you can do to switch that, but that's one thing I really want to touch on with this. There are a ton of settings, and we're going to kind of go through those right now. The one easy setting that I would really highly recommend to mess with is basically it's like an upscaling feature that's built into this. So I'm going to show you right now some differences and why I think it's worth using. So as you see here, it looks like normal. The default is 1 times GPU usage. It looks just like it would on your actual PlayStation 1. So if you want the nostalgia of the little bit pixelated look, the rough edges, this is where you want to stay. This is where you want to hang out. But I'm telling you, you can get some features out of this that basically would be equivalent to spending $400, $500, $600 on a FrameMeister and doing a bunch of like really high-end upscaling. So let's kind of go through what it looks like. I'm going to show 2 different modes, and the first one is going to be the 2 times mode. As you can see at 2 times, it looks crazy good. It's like way sharper, way smoother. I will say that this is, spoilers, this is where I tend to stay at. You can go higher, you can go much higher, but there's a little bit of a downside to that. So let me go ahead and show you what I mean right now. So here's it switching into 4 times mode. It looks a little cleaner, but to me it doesn't look too much better than if you were going in the 2 times mode. However, there is one thing I do notice, which is a major downside, is it feels slower. And I don't go any higher than this because too much more higher and the game doesn't like it. But basically, the more GPU usage you use, it makes it cleaner and smoother. But at the same time, it also drastically slows it down, which is a real shame. So this next feature is something I really like, especially for Mega Man Legends 1. If you're used to emulators, this is not a new thing. There's nothing special about this. And even most modern consoles, this is not a new thing. But It is great. Now, if you've played Legends 1, you'll know the controls are extremely outdated. You have to walk using the D-pad, basically forward and back, left and right. Lets you go, forward and back, and then strafe left and right. To actually turn the camera, you have to use L1 and R1. R1 rotating it to the right, L1 rotating it to the left. So, you can actually go through and, like most emulators, of course, go through and set your own custom controls. So I basically set the D-pad to the left joystick, giving me the control I want. But then I set the L1 and R1 buttons to the right joysticks, left and right. So it feels like an actual more modern game where I can walk with one joystick and look around with the other. It seems like a minor thing, but, when I jumped into this game, because I hadn't played it in a while, I was like, oh yeah, I remember that that's a little bit of a challenge. So the fact that I could switch that on the fly is fantastic. Other normal emulator things that you're used to seeing, still really great quality of life, is save states. I mean, you can go through, you can drop in save states anywhere, and then, of course, load them anywhere. They have a rewind feature, just all sorts of stuff, because you're not really playing it on a disc, you're playing it through emulation, really. I mean, you do have the proper files, if you legally downloaded them from your own personal collection, like I did. But that being said, it is a great feature. I like that you can stop, in the middle of a boss fight or something, make a quick save state, go, walk the dogs, come back, and then boom, not a big deal. It's really cool, and it's a fantastic addition to being able to play all these old games on your Xbox. I will say one thing, this actually could run a little bit faster, but I'm actually running all these games off of a USB stick. You can run it off a USB stick or a solid state drive. I hear mechanical drives are not preferable. The best way, however, to run it obviously would be to put it internal. I just have not got around to that yet. When I was recording this, I was just wrapped up testing it out. That being said, putting it on the internal is the best way to go. However, I will say that dev mode only partitions 5 gigs. So if you're planning on using the internal memory, go ahead and plan on not having too many games on there at once. At least if you're using like PS1 and up. If you're running Super Nintendo and Nintendo, Sega, you probably have a lot more room to play with. So just a small description of what you have to do to get this working on your Xbox. And like I said, there are many people who have way better videos of how to do it. I don't really have like the greatest way to capture my computer, and there's 2 parts to this. You need a computer, you need an Xbox. You can actually do this on the Xbox One, it just doesn't run very well. So the Series S and the Series X are the way to go. But basically, you're going to download the developer mode app on your Xbox Series X or S. And then from there, it's a free app. The app is free. It will give you a website to go and establish your developer mode. So from there, on your computer, laptop, whatever, you're going to jump on, and it will actually show you, where to go, and you will pay $20 to unlock developer mode. And then from there, you basically sign into your Microsoft account. You have developer mode unlocked. Then you have a code that'll show up on your Xbox screen, on your TV rather, and you type in that code into that website. Basically, you're going to go to Xbox One, even though it's a Series S or X, or it could be a 1, depending on what you're doing this on. And it's going to have, it's not very intuitive, but on the far right side, there's a little like a little thing that you would normally click to add things, and it doesn't like really stick out at you, but you click that, and that's where you type in the code. Type in the code, it activates your console. Bob's your uncle, you're good to go. Now, from your console, what you're going to want to do is note when you enter developer mode, you can switch back and forth on the fly. So 5 gigs of your console are taken for developer mode, and basically, all you have to do is go to that app that you downloaded, click switch to console developer mode, and it does take a little while. Your screen's going to go black, it's going to do a full restart, then you're going to be in developer mode. Now, when you're in developer mode, you'll see on your bottom right-hand side of the screen, basically an IP address. When you type that into your browser on your computer, your laptop or whatever, it's going to basically link your computer to your Xbox, and from there, that's how you're going to get stuff from one to the other. So I'm going to put a link in the description for the RetroArch software. You're going to want to download the Xbox One version. That's the only one that exists, but it works for everything. And then from there, all you're going to do is drop it in to your Xbox Series S or X or 1. Now, once you get it in, it'll be on a box in the dead center. I mean, you can't miss it. And you just scroll down to it, and you press on your controller. It's like the 2 squares. I'm always going to call it select, so we're going to call it select. And basically switch it from being an app to being a game. And boom, that's it. It's on there. So from there, you jump in, and you have it on there. Now is the part that's a little bit harder, I'm not going to lie. It's not that bad, though, but now it's actually getting the emulators and the ROMs on there. Like I said, you should definitely look at other videos. I'm just going to, like, really roughly explain what's involved, because if you're someone who does this often, you'll know exactly what to do. But basically, it has the architecture for every single console. It's just missing their BIOS. So you need to either rip your own BIOS from one of your own consoles, or do something more dubious that I won't explain how to do here, but Google's your friend. Anyway, you're going to do the same thing that how you got your RetroArch onto the console. You're going to put the BIOS onto the console, depending on which console in RetroArch you want to do. So for me, I put in a PS1 BIOS, and then that activated the PS1 basically emulation. You do the same exact thing with the ROMs. Basically, you get your ROMs, and, well, for me, actually, I put them in a thumb drive, but you can obviously switch them over to the console itself so it runs a little faster. But from there, it's easy peasy. You just go straight over to which console, or for me, I set the system as reading the flash drive, and as you saw in the beginning, you click it, and you are right in the game. But that's it. I mean, you know, when Microsoft said, hey, we're going to have backwards compatibility, I guess in a sense you can say that they really meant it. You can play all of your Xbox One games, most of your Xbox 360 games, a few original Xbox games, and apparently every game from PS2 downward. So, hey, but what do you guys think, man? This is an awesome thing. It was so easy. You know, it partitions your Xbox, so there's no fear to it. As soon as you're done with developer mode, you can switch back and your console's regular, back normal. It's fantastic. But hey, like I said, what do you guys think? Drop it in the comments down below. Are you guys doing this? Is this something that interests you? And also, if there's any specific console or game you want me to test out or see, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be happy to oblige. So as you can see, this has a huge amount of potential, and that's just PS1. PS1 is probably pretty easy. Next thing I'm going to do is probably put a couple more consoles on there. PS2, maybe Sega Saturn, I heard actually does work on there, which is awesome. And once again, the fact that you can upscale these games and play them with better resolution, you can record so easily. I've always said this. Recording on the Xbox line of consoles is the easiest way to record game capture footage. You literally plug in a hard drive. So the fact that I could just plug in a hard drive and record Mega Man Legends footage was great. No frame meister, no chords, no blah blah blah, no setting up all this nonsense. It's fantastic. But hey, what do you guys think? Is this something y'all are interested in? And also, like I said, I'm gonna put some more stuff on my console, some more consoles on my console. So if there's anything you guys want to see specifically, put it in the comments down below, because I am really gonna be jumping into this, probably hardcore, pretty soon. That's gonna do it for us today, guys. Once again, thank you so much for watching. If you like videos like this, please stick around, subscribe, like, dislike, there's some comments down below, however you feel. Are you a Mega Man Legends fan? I know I am. Let's bug Capcom to give us a Mega Man Legacy collection for Legends, so we don't have to do stuff like this. But hey, as always, my friends, take it easy.